Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today's book review is Malibu Rising by Jenkins Reid. I really enjoyed the cover. I usually don't like when book covers do different colors for the author and the title, but this kind of works because the crisp blue, like perfect blue ocean, kind of makes everything pop. I also really enjoy seeing the 4 rivers on the cover, and it makes me want to surf. It's too cold where I am, and you can't really go into the water because it's freezing, and you would get hypothermia within 10 minutes probably. So I will just live vicariously through this book cover. I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars, but before we're going into the review part, just a quick summary. We follow Riva Children, who's related to Mick Riva, who's a big, famous, and promiscuously annoying rock singer who started in the 60s. And we go back and forth from the 60s and 70s to present day, which is the early 1980s, where his 4 children, Jay, Kit, Nina, and Hudson, are about to throw a big party that they're all known for. And we mainly follow Nina, but we do also have some other points of views. Mick started out very poor in the 50s and then rose to fame in the mid to late 60s. So he kind of worked his way up, and also his kids did as well, because he abandoned his wife, got a divorce, actually twice, which June, the mother, not a June, yeah, June's interesting. Mick basically ditched him twice, and then at least June didn't marry and divorce him for a 3rd time, but things were not good. Not good. And not just for June, but also for the 4 kids. Bad things happen. Nina has to step up and take care of her 3 younger siblings, and then we learn how they kind of become rich and famous, and it doesn't have anything to do with Mick, because he's just out there sleeping around with like hundreds of women. It's probably like when we meet him at the end, we slept with like at least 1,000, if not more, women, by how promiscuous and just annoyingly stupid he is. He has no self-control. So going into why I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, I was really enjoying it, but then there's just way too many points of views. Now, when the party starts, the huge party run by Nina in her beachside house in Malibu, we're given points of view from random stars, about, it's either 4 or 5 of them. There was absolutely no need to do that. They're not part of the Riva family, and they're not really even close or like best friends or whatever to the Riva siblings. And so there is one instance where the Riva kids and Mick disappear to go talk, and so Nina's best friend has to kind of take over to get the party situated. I'm like, okay, well, that one makes sense. But all the other ones didn't need it. I don't care about Kyle. I don't care about Wendy. I just don't care. And you don't really see them after. You might get a few sentences of what happened to them, but there was absolutely no need to put multiple points of views of people that aren't actually connected in any way to the Riva family, other than that Nina's best friend. Aside from that, there were instances where Nina or Jay or whoever started talking to and introduced other people to the person's point of view after we went through the point of view chapter. Like, so you can easily say from, let's say, Jay introduces Wendy to other people, and you get a few sentences of what she's about and whatever, whatnot. Yeah, you don't need points of view. Also, I understand why we did a throwback, mini throwbacks, to Mick and June, because that's the parents of the 4 siblings. I get it in a way, but it was very choppy. And another issue that I had is within chapters and within scene breaks, we were jumping back and forth between not just the siblings, but also the, like, random friends of the siblings, which, okay, at least they're friends of the siblings, but I don't know, we need their points of view either. I understand flashbacks to Mick and June and how that relationship just fell apart completely, and why the siblings are where they are and why they act the way that they act. I get it. It was choppy though. Could have been better. But the other points of view, and not just its own chapter that's like, 3 to 5 pages, but multiple shift changes and points of view changes within a chapter. A little too much. Okay, it's too much. I think that it's becoming a trend with certain writers. I don't know why, because I don't think it's great writing. And it's also about what do you need in the book, not what do you want in the book. Very important distinction. What is needed in the book? You could absolutely have taken out all those points of views from random partiers that have some random connection, possibly, to the Riva siblings. It doesn't need to be there. It doesn't. And you could have probably made the book, I don't know, 25 to 35 pages shorter, just from getting rid of those random points of views of the party goers. Wendy, she works at the restaurant that Nina owns, for example, and we have our own point of view of how she's just sleeping with a bunch of men at the party, but then she's going to go home to Oregon and marry this plain guy and have a bunch of kids, and she's giving up acting. But what's the point of that? Like, I think she's mentioned 1 or 2 more times in passing at the end of the book, and then okay, nothing happens with Wendy. Okay, so that's an example of why does it need to be there? It doesn't need to be there. It's just what you want, not what's needed for the actual story. Is that truly going to affect Nina and her siblings? No, she just finds another waitress. Unless Wendy and her are best friends, which they're not, and Wendy is not best friends with any of the other siblings as well, then it doesn't matter. Honestly, it doesn't make any sense to put that in there. I thought it was, like, interesting in a sense, because usually people really hold on to the idea of making it big in Hollywood, and so they don't give up, and it's kind of sad. But Wendy does give up. She has a one-way ticket to, was it Portland or Eugene or something, and Oregon, and she's done. But first, she's gonna sleep with as many men as possible at the party. I did really like the siblings, and I'm trying to make it as spoiler-free as possible, but there is a subplot that ties into everything with Hud and Jay, because they were brought up as twins, but they're not twins. Hud's actually had a different mother, Mick, and Hud's mother just dropped him off as a baby to June and said, I can't do it anymore, here, take Mick's son. So June raised Hud and Jay together as siblings, but they're not, they're half siblings. They're not twins. I thought I said twins, but I said siblings. Sorry, I need more coffee. But that whole thing is very fascinating, and you can definitely see the contention in that subplot between them. And I was just reading and like, HUD, really, we're gonna do this? With everything that happens and that you learn about the family and the siblings and Mick and June, you're just sitting there like, really, HUD? Okay, make better choices. Please. Brothers before anyone else, basically. You've gone through so much. They've all gone through so much. You all need to stick together and continue to stick together and not, go outside of your family bubble because no one else is there for you. At the end, it does work out, which I could see it working out, but not as easy as it did. Happily Ever After needed to go a little faster because there was a lot going on in the beginning and middle, and the ending needed to be wrapped up, which was also a little odd. I don't know if you needed to wrap things up so quickly, but if you have a page or word count limit, then yes. And in response to that, that's why you don't add random points of views. So you can make it a little more realistic, mainly regarding HUD and Jay and that subplot, because that needed to have just a little bit more to make sense. Like, they fight over and they beat the crap out of each other. Mainly Jay beats the crap out of HUD, but then, like, yeah, okay. But we still need a little more because I think it wrapped up too nicely and too quickly. But it was still a very dramatic and intriguing subplot. And then the whole subplot that is Nina's and her husband's plot, like it's a romantic, not actually romantic, relationship subplot where he ditches Nina for Carrie Soto, which is another book from Taylor. And I'm really interested in reading Carrie Soto's back because I want to see Brandon get punched in the throat or something like that. Like, I can feel that I could be on the side of Carrie Soto, but in this book I'm on the side of Nina. Very important. And not the side whatsoever with Brandon. He can jump off a cliff. Thank you so much for watching my book review on Malibu Rising. Have a great rest of your day. Bye!